You guys have had a rough, like 24, 36 hours, something like that. You left the lighthouse looking for Ayala and Annalie, started tracking them, decided to bed down for the night, and got ambushed by this demon thing right before you went to bed. While you're dealing with that, Yoin gets snatched up by these cultists, and you go searching for him, and you beat the shit out of these guys, but just a little too late before which you found out is having a nice little conversation with the Red Queen, one of the after looking around the cavern you guys are in, you found like a manifesto from these cultists about what's going on. She is one of the four avatars of chaos that was summoned by these people. And she now walks the earth. One of the four chains binding Kiobra has been broken, and the cultists are happy. It certainly seems ominous. She walked right over you guys, essentially. Barely gave you the time of day. But on the bright side, it seems like all the stuff that these cultists are doing is taking some time. The book detailed, these rituals have to be done at the right time of year, essentially, a specific phase of the moon, specific times of the year. Lots of different conditions have to be met for these rituals to work. So, even if this is the first one, you feel confident you've probably got a little bit of time before the next one finally happens, but we'll go from you guys can start working on that from there. But yeah, you've not really had any time for a long rest. You guys kind of took a short rest for a little bit just to kind of catch your breath and look around the cave. It is about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning at this point. If you wanted to go ahead and take a long rest and just get a late start in the day, you could. Or you can just keep moving on. You're about... Let me get the map here so I can see for certain. Yeah, you guys are, what, 8 hours or so away from Brightonburg, if you're headed that way.
Something like that.
Yeah, I would feel pretty good about a long rest.
I just got kidnapped and saved, so like I don't even know if do I have spell slots right now? What happened?
Yeah, I mean,
Would.
your health is quite low, but all of your spell slots, or all your key points and spell slots are intact. You haven't really had an opportunity to use any of them with the ambush, so...
Well then, I will look at everyone and say if we're gonna rest, I'll take the first 2 hours to watch.
Okay.
If we get a long rest while we're in the wagon.
Ooh.
Speedrunning.
I'm not about speed running.
There's no speed
We're on a timetable here.
Remember Elden Ring, and then what else? Pokemon.
Yeah, you Pokemon, Arceus.
I did not speed run Pokemon or I did not speed run Elden Ring. I did speed run Pokemon.
Can't blame them for that. I would do that too.
But I would say probably not. I mean, the three of you quite likely could, just bedding down in the back, but one of you is going to have to make that sacrifice.
I could do it. Since I'm going to do the first 2 hours, I could at least control the animals until my turn's over, and then I can just meditate.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was kind of thinking, cause.
Okay. Just as long as nothing happens along the road, then you should have a successful...
No, we did not name the horse.
Not to my knowledge.
Full name of
No,
it.
I think I'm gonna burn my last spell slot for this rest. And you speak with animals and talk to this horse.
Okay.
Hello, friend.
He says, well, hello.
pull out some straw or something, some vegetation I find, and start like try to gesture it to him and say, what is your name?
He says, oh, there we go. He says, well, it's mighty kind of you to ask my name. I've been working for you guys for a little bit now, and just now making it. Well, I appreciate it. He says, you can call me Alistair.
Mr. Crowley.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, Alistair, I have a question. Do you know the way to Breitenberg?
He says, that was, and he said, we came from there not long ago, if I remember. We just continue on this road, right?
Yeah, as long as you could, I was just saying if you could just assist our driver here, he is a little weary as well. You know, 2 eyes on the road are better than 1.
He says, of course, he says, of course, I'm quite proud of the work I do, and if you need me to keep lookout as we go, I will do my best.
You're doing a fantastic job, Alistair. I just like that this conversation's happening in like whinnies and like I'm scratching the ground, like just stomping.
Yeah,
with my
just.
foot. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, he says, consider it done, friend. And I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
My name is Timothy Mothman.
He says, well, Timothy, it is a pleasure.
Moth.
And Moth, well,
Yes.
wonderful. I enjoy getting to finally speak with you. I hope it won't be the last time.
Oh, absolutely.
And I will be sure to let you know if I see anything suspicious.
I appreciate you very much, Alistair.
Now, is he saying these words and we just can't hear the horses, or is this all going on in his head?
No, this is all going on in horse.
Yeah,
In horse.
like,
I'm talking to this horse as a horse.
yeah, like.
Yeah.
I learned anything from that. I thought it was just in your mind.
No. Well, yeah, I'm speaking with animals like in their native tongue, or however you describe that.
After a somewhat pleasant conversation with Alistair, he's willing to keep an eye out for any suspicious behavior along the way and kind of help, just in case Yoin falls asleep or gets lost in kind of hazy confusion of sleep, something like that.
I know he's had a long day, and it happens. We've all had a long drive after a rough couple of hours.
Yes.
Alright, then I will go to the front of the wagon, take the saddle, put it on my foot, and start playing my flute as it starts traveling.
Is there room for a second person on the wagon front?
Up front, yeah.
Didn't you want to rest?
Yeah, no, I can be up there and rest.
Yeah, Yoin is. I mean, he's a pretty decent size, but it's a big like. It's a 2-seater.
Bench.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. See, yeah, you could sit up there.
I'll sit up there and I'll just like have my arms crossed, looking straight ahead, when I'm actually in my inactive mode.
Okay,
See, it looks like I'm awake, but I'm not.
gotcha.
Just as a kind of deterrent for any would-be trouble.
I understand.
I would be curled up after my conversation with Alistair and say, alright, well, good night. I look forward to seeing you in the morning. Or whatever day it is. And then I'm going to walk away and maybe, I'll see McKai in the cart. And I'll kind of continue whinnying at him, forgetting that I'm speaking in horse.
Yeah, just give you like a weird look. Like,
Just walk into the car like,
I'd be like, are you okay?
yeah, just tired, ready for a nap. Tell you.
Oh, I thought you were gonna start yelling, Asperla, away!
Okay, so you continue on your way. you can take a nice long rest as you go. Staying on the main road is pretty safe. There's rarely any trouble around these parts, and you seem to have no real difficult issues. You do pass, when you notice about an hour and a half into the trip, you pass a small little troop, I guess. They have a carriage as well, but there's a couple of halflings and a human and a dwarf. Both of the halflings are just playing some music, and they just seem in a good mood. They just passing in the direction opposite of you.
Is there any symbols, anything that I can tell from where they are or where they're from?
They have a sign, a little banner on their on the side of their cart. They are the Willowbrand musicians. So they're just a musical troupe, just a little band traveling.
Nice. I'll wave to them as we're passing by and keep on playing my flute while having the saddle around my foot and driving the wagon.
All right. That's really the only thing that you have. The only real encounter you have along the way. So it is 7. So it's 1:30 in the afternoon as you make it into Brightonburg. You wheel your cart into town, and that one's Loudwater. That's Brightonburg. So you wheel your cart into town. You drop Alistair off at the stables, and the four of you can, you get up, you stretch, get everything together that you need out of the cart, and whatever you'd like to do from there.
Moth would be, as they're going up to the stables and waking up, just tell people, like, alright, make sure Alistair, he gets good oats, lots of grain, good brushing. He's done a lot of work today. He's earned a spa day, I think.
The stable hand will, he says, absolutely, sir, we'll take wonderful care of him.
Thank you.
Alistair gives you a thankful-looking little head gesture as you're walking away.
Do the same kind of, head nod down.
Yeah.
Horses say thank you. They're like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Happy horse keeps everybody alive.
Alright, so what are we doing from here, gentlemen? You are in the city of Brightonburg.
What do we see around us right now?
Right here is... excuse me. Right here as you enter into town, you have... I had all of this written out. Let me make sure. Let me see if I can find those notes. So if you look at the map, I believe Tommy pinned it. Yeah. So there's the map right there. I just have to remember what everything is. That's it right here. So, okay, I'm sorry. Alright, so as you come into town, on the left here, you have the small little building. We have the stables, and then we have an inn right here next to it. I don't remember which inn. I believe this was just...
I think the one on the outside of town was...
Where'd it go? It's not...
the Twin Vixens.
There it is. Yes, thank you. Sorry. Yes, the Twin Vixens Inn. Then you have some residential homes right here on the right. As you go into town, there are a lot more things, but it's noon. It's the middle of the week at this point. I believe I think we consider it Thursday, so not quite the middle of the week, nearing the weekend. So, things are busy, things are going. The town is active. So you can kind of go wherever, do whatever you'd like. You just hear the normal sounds of the city. People talking, hammers banging from blacksmiths and ironsmiths and etc. in town.
I want to pull out the clothing we have and then transform into a giant rat to try to track the scent.
Because we know one of them was coming this direction.
Correct.
One of them went up to Noruune and one of them went to Brightenberg.
Correct. Okay. So, are you guys just following along with him? Or nobody's got any other plans?
Are we talking about a plan, or are you just going to transform into a weasel and take off?
I mean, I was gonna wait for you guys. This kind of was the plan already, was it not?
Well,
I thought we were going to come back and talk. I know we had to come back and talk to Oakfeather about everything that's going on.
Yeah, we were coming back this way, tracking her, then got distracted by the demon, and then the cult, and then the
You're
cult's demon.
Yep.
Because we have her clothing or something
Mhm.
that we were tracking. We were taking turns
Yeah.
tracking as animals.
correct. So,
Perception, yeah.
sorry, I was pulling up my page. Yes, make me a perception check, and you'll get advantage.
Yay, giant rat smell. That's a natural 1, and then a 16 plus 6, so 22.
All right. Even in town, the scent is or in town, and since it's been a little bit, this scent is very difficult to follow. But with a little bit of extra effort and your improved rat smell or rat sense, you can you manage to get a lock on this smell. You follow it. You follow it around through the town here and there, and it takes you back and around. So it takes you as you make it down the hill into the main town. You go right and then around the outskirts of the town, and then you'll take a left on that first road and follow it up and around. And you see that big building that's got the 3 trees behind it.
Yes.
Okay, that's where you are essentially led right to the door of that building.
Okay. Do we recognize this building?
There's a signpost outside, and a pretty permeating smell coming from the building of poop and urine and just nasty, like, unkept animal smells, essentially. The sign, this is Vexil's Vestibule of Variety.
Cool. I just,
Whose name?
Uh,
Texas?
yes,
Vestile?
Vecile. Vacilles. Vecile.
The seals vasectomy, what is this?
Vecile's Vestibule of Variety.
So does that mean they have everything, right?
Well, I don't know.
Well, I'm just going to like rat point like that way. In there.
You just kind of start scratching at the door a little bit.
Oh, I would point. I could still point as a rat.
Okay.
Like a terrier. Or would you like stand up on your on your haunches and like point with your little paw?
Are you gonna be like
I'm not a tiny rat. I'm a giant rat.
Well, I mean, that's still only like 3 feet tall.
I wanted to
It's
say
huge. This rat is huge. It's bigger than me.
I mean,
Probably, yeah.
technically, yeah, but it's still only like 3.5 feet tall.
That thing's gigantic.
Probably 4 feet.
Okay.
Probably 4 feet on its hind legs.
Yeah, that's way taller than me.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, he directs you guys to the door.
Is it open? I'm assuming this is a business.
Well,
And it is the middle of the day.
I mean, the door is closed, but the store very well could be open.
Alright, well. Yeah, open this door. What's up?
Okay.
I follow it, and I'm still like trying to follow the set.
As you open the door, the four of you step into a pretty large 2-story building. They've got the front desk right here out front, and a big open, like, vaulted ceiling to where you can see upstairs. But there's a woman, a human woman, sitting behind the desk, and she welcomes you in, and you can hear there are animal noises all around this place, just chirping and like barking and growling and weird noises, just all kinds of strange sounds. And she comes in, or you come in. She looks up from whatever she's doing at the desk, and she says, "Hey, welcome, welcome. This is Vasil's Vestibule of Variety, and I assume you're here because you want a pet."
I'm gonna be paying attention to Seymoure. Once we walk in, it's that scene from Ace Ventura. Except instead of seeing like all the taxidermy heads on the wall and him freaking out, it's just like all these animals in cages. It's like, nope.
Calm down, Moth. Calm down. Calm down. I know. I understand.
That's
Calm
yeah.
down.
That's why I'd be paying attention to Seymour. It's like, where is it? Where? Follow the thing.
Okay, yeah,
And I
I
just
just
look at you like, are you okay?
Okay, so you're gonna just kind of ignore her and keep following the scent.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be paying attention to Seymour. Yeah, whatever he's doing.
Okay. So Seymour, you take a left and go through a little archway, or a little open doorway into the next room. And as you guys are walking away, she just kind of perks up and she's like, "Well, if you need anything, let me know." But you follow the scent and you walk into the next room, and there are cages and small aquariums and stuff like that set up all over the place. You know, you've got birds of different sorts, ravens and owls and hawks. There's a couple of different reptiles in here. You've got, like I said, you've got aquariums with things like frogs and crabs. One of them actually has an octopus swimming in it.
yeah, there it is.
There are turtles. There are turtles and parrots. There is a monkey jumping around in a pretty large cage. This place seems to have quite a variety of animals. But as you're walking around through this place following the scent, like I said, you take that left and kind of go into the next room, and then around to the right, and you see, let me make sure I don't mess this up, because I have a description here.
You just see me staring at the turtles.
Oh no, that's not the right one. No, damn it. At least I'm pretty sure I have a description for her. Yeah, maybe not. Okay. Anyway, let me see. I have this much though. So, as you come around the corner and you see a kind of young-ish. I mean, she's pretty short. She's halfling, but you see this pretty short woman. She's got overalls on and just kind of a ratty T-shirt under it. She's got blonde like dirty blonde hair that she's had braided, and it's pulled up into like a knot on the top of her head. And she's standing there. She's got a she's got a small like parakeet that she's got on her arm, and she's feeding it a handful of like grain. And you follow the scent essentially right up to her. And as you walk in, she turns around and she says, "Oh, you startled me. I'm sorry. I didn't know that anybody was in here. Is there something I can help you with, or are you just browsing?"
Is this the like description we got of the daughter?
Blonde, bright blue eyes,
Yes.
golden skin. Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, cool. I just transform out of rat form.
She goes, oh, okay. Hi.
We've been looking for you.
Her face kind of goes slack, and she says, "Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you found me. I needed to talk to you. You haven't talked to my dad yet, have you?"
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. If you see him, you found me and you rescued me. Okay. Just tell him you rescued me from a group of bandits. I was kidnapped, but I'm back. That's just stick with that story, okay? Can
We
you?
will stick with that story for him, but we need to know the actual story because we are worried about these cultists.
Yeah, I've been hearing about them. Ayala was telling me about them. I don't know much. Or I'm sorry, Annalie was telling me about them. She says I don't know much. But my father, he's a big traditionalist, and he was not he was not a fan of anybody in his family learning the magical arts, and so I had to run away just to be able to learn them. And if he found out that I made this choice on my own, he would disown me. I have to hide my magic from him as it is. So I need you to keep quiet about it, and I'll pay you. You know, whatever he's paying you, I'll pay you as well. Just I can't have him know about this.
Little late for that. He already knows.
Oh.
That's a tad bit of advice.
We didn't tell him.
No, but he above table. He knew that she was experimenting with magics and
Yeah.
ran away with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knew that she ran away with someone to learn magic.
Yeah.
He would just. The best course of action would be like, well, he knew, so he's not mad about it. He just wants to make sure you're okay. He realizes you're 18 and want to take off.
Just remember, being true to oneself is more important than giving an illusion of one's character.
Yeah, man. But Moth is not saying any of this. He's squatted down in a bundle of ropes because he is afraid. And also upset. He's very emotionally confused.
She says, well, that's interesting. Maybe
The front he put on for us might be a different story when you go home and are in less of a public eye.
You see, I have been home, and he didn't mention it, so maybe you're right. Maybe I should just go talk to him.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I do have a job to do. I'll speak with him this evening, but is there anything I can help you with before I go back to work?
If it makes you feel better, our friend can turn into an animal. How about he turns into a rat and stays in your pocket to make sure that nothing horrible goes on during the time you talk to him?
Oh no.
Yes. That way it gives you a little bit more confidence, and we can make sure that you're okay.
Well,
How about that?
that's all right. I don't fear my father in that way. Yelling and punishment is one thing, but never violence. I'm not scared of him like that. But I do thank you for telling me the truth here. I feel kind of foolish now, but I'll speak with him. It'll be okay. Uh, is there anything else that you need from me? I guess.
Yeah, can you tell us about these cultists?
Well, as I said, I don't know too much. Annalie spoke of them a few times, but she never gave me much information. She says she says they're looking to bring about chaos, some kind of old power, some kind of ancient evil that was captured long ago. But she has been working against them. I know she is gathering her things and getting some more affairs in order back home right now before she heads out again. Last I spoke to her, she had found the location of another shrine and was making her way there to do whatever it is she does, or that she thinks she can do to stop it. I believe she said. Wrong one. I believe she said the name, or that she was going to somewhere near. I believe it was Fort Marnac. It wasn't. It was just south of there. What did she call it? Sildegard. I believe that was it. It's something similar. It was a small gnomish village just outside of the Dark Woods. I believe it's called Sildegard. Yeah, no, that's. But
No.
yes, it is. It's called Sildegard. You can find it on the map. But if I remember, or if her information is correct, it will be sometime before the next appropriate moon phase, before they can do anything. But she wants to get there kind of early and see if she can stop anything beforehand. So if you're looking to help her in any way, yeah, you might make haste as soon as possible to Noruune. She will not be there long. I don't assume.
Is there something we could say to her that would let her know that we are trying to help her? Anything specific, like that you two had between you that would let her know that we're on the up and up?
Let me think. She says, "Well, do you have a piece of paper?"
Yeah, sure. I pull a piece of paper and ink and quill from my mouth.
Okay. She says, "Oh, okay. Well, thank you." And she kind of delicately takes them. But she just kind of writes on this little parchment, saying, these are friends. They come to help you. Trust them as you would trust me, Ayala. And then she signs it. Or then down at the bottom, she puts 3 different rune symbols. She says, and she folds it up and she hands it back to you, Seymoure, and she says that should pretty much guarantee that she'll believe you. So,
Cool.
take that.
I do, and I put it in my mouth into the bag, holding along with the pen and the ink and the pen and paper. There.
Okay.
So, I'm just gonna say it's a letter of introductory.
That'll work. Uh, but she says, is there anything else I can help with? If not, I really must get to tending to these animals. We have quite a few of them.
I think that is all we needed of you. We are glad that you are safe and back home.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, but I was never in any harm.
Yes. Well, now we know. We are going to go report to your father and let him know, though.
So real quick, above the table, is this like I thought she was human, or I thought they were.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't find if she was human. I couldn't find the description I had for her. I know it's around here somewhere.
18 human, medium length, blonde, bright blue eyes, tan gold skin, same as mother. And the mother's name was Ariana. She died 16 years ago.
Yeah, I've got all of that written somewhere, but I can't find it at the moment.
Dude, it's all these paper notes. I got them. It's like it's like that map with red things.
Right. I got to transfer all of this into one cohesive. Put all of this into one big cohesive thing because I've got so many scattered pieces of paper and shit.
But just for so she is human.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. Because that would have been a whole different interaction for Moth of what.
Right.
Yeah. Of like, holy shit, there's another one. What? Bright blue eyes. Huh.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
You'd be getting a little too happy.
No, I'm just curious. Like, I haven't seen another version of or another type of meat.
Cool. So we will make our exit then, and then I will just flip the lady at the counter. I'll flip her like a silver and be like, "Sorry for the intrusion."
She catches it and she goes, "Oh, it was no problem. If you ever need anything, please come back. We have quite a large stock."
Oh, I'll be back.
Cool. And then head to the father's house. Do that after us so we can get paid.
Off to the father's house.
Okay.
Lord Oakfeather.
Lord Oakfeather.
Yeah, that guy. Glad you're taking notes.
Okay, so yeah,
I need to do that too.
you head to Lord Oakfeather's place, and you.
So, again, curious. We're cool to tell Oakfeather that she's back in town, or no?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's aware of her presence. You know, she's back.
Okay.
He knows.
She's just at her summer job or whatever.
Right. Let's see. Damn. Okay. So yeah, you make it to the Lord's manor. He's got a couple of guards outside, who recognize you from when you were here last, and so they allow you to go right inside and tell you, the Lord is in his chambers, or his I don't know what you'd call it, his office essentially. So you there you go. He's not seeing anybody at the moment, so you can go speak to him. Just go right in. All right. You walk in. The Lord is Lord Oakfeather is sitting up on his, not quite technically a throne, just sitting up in his chair.
Fancy chair.
Yeah, it's a nice, comfortable looking chair for sure. So he's sitting there. He welcomes you in. He says, "Oh, great adventurers! Thank you. Come on in. Thank you. You brought my daughter back. I can't tell you how grateful I am for everything you've done. Please come in. Come in. I believe we have some business to take care of here."
Come in and be like, "Yes, indeed, she is back."
Yes, she is, and I thank you so much for all of the work you put in. He starts laughing. He says, She has such a wild imagination, making up these stories. I knew what was going on. I told you, but I just wanted to make sure she's safe and that she comes back. And but she's trying to tell me all of these stories about bandits and kidnappings, and it was so grand. I got so tickled. I had to leave the room. But uh, she's
Teenagers, am I right?
no, you have no idea. Well, maybe you do. Maybe you do. I don't mean to assume. I'm sorry. But no, I believe we have a bit of business to attend to. 500 gold pieces apiece, I believe, right?
Yep.
He,
Above table, that was the amount, right?
yeah, at least according to my notes.
Deal. Sound right?
Uh,
500 gold pieces?
Yeah, I don't take notes about gold. Moth doesn't care.
Yeah,
so
okay.
he snaps his fingers, and one of the little servants standing next to him runs off, and he says, "So, I trust your trip went well. Did everything go as planned? No real hiccups?"
For the most part.
I look down.
Ooh.
He says, "Oh, my little tiefling friend, is everything okay?"
I got abducted by cultists. So, I'm okay for right now.
Oh, well, I'm so glad to hear that. Cultists, my lord. What, for what means did they kidnap you?
I would like to do a check on that. I would like to see how much I believe that that he doesn't know anything. Like, I
I
just
want
want
yeah.
Okay.
That.
Any of you can make an insight check if you feel the same way.
15.
Yeah.
Above table, do you guys want any of this gold? Or should I just put it in the party fund?
Party fund.
Yeah,
Okay.
Moth again has no use for money.
Just make sure before I put it in my mouth.
And you always see me just look at you like in disgust. What the hell?
Love it. All right.
Okay, so
Yeah, I got a 19 on insight.
okay,
For I'm trying to that seems suspicious.
okay. No, he seems genuine. It's just he's just a little flamboyant. So when he like puts his hand on his chest and gasps, it's just a little suspicious. But he seems he
He's
seems
got that southern, my god.
yeah
It stars.
he seems genuinely concerned when he hears this.
By Aunt May's marmalade. How could this be?
My
I do
goodness,
declare.
have mercy. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, then I
Hey.
guess we tell him what we know.
okay.
Uh,
Like, are you
Whereas-
gonna spill the beans on all of it, or are you just gonna?
I don't know. I don't think that's the right move. I don't know what the right move is, but Moth is gonna say, dude, it was a lot. It's been a long amount of hours since we last saw you.
We'll just say that we have definitely earned this gold with what we've been through.
He says,
Yes.
he says, well, I'm so glad to hear that you're safe after all of that. You know, things have been rather wild around here lately. The situation in Loudwater, and things have just been happening recently that just seem strange. I woke up this morning, and there was a goat on my bed. I freaked out, jumped out of bed, turned around, and grabbed my sword out of the corner and turned to chase the thing off, and it was just gone. I don't know if I'm losing my mind or what, but things just seem.
Trying to eat your beard.
No, it was going after my blanket, and
Sounds about right for a goat.
it's a very nice blanket. I was quite upset. But I was worried I was going mad. It appears and vanishes, but there's a hole in my blanket. It happened.
I believe you.
Things are
But
just
it's rather mysterious.
things are just strange lately. I feel.
When you say strange, what do you mean?
Just as I said, things just seem to be slightly off. I mean, I've never had a goat just show up in my home before, and then vanish, seemingly, into nowhere. We couldn't find it. It just was gone. And these weird. You speak of like cultists. We've never had cultists that I know of around here, or at least no problems with any cultists that I'm aware of. It's a relatively peaceful island. It has been for thousands of years, to my knowledge. Things are just strange.
Have any of your neighbors been reporting anything strange like this?
Well, we had the issue in Loudwater. The lords there. The lord there sent a issue to basically every city on the island, to my knowledge, letting us know of the situation. As far as I'm aware, it was one of four that was actually one of the only. It was one of four attempted that night, and the only one that actually, and one of the only ones that got cut short. So.
Well, we do good work.
Yes, I'm aware of that now, and again, thank you for that. But yeah, new things happening on the island. Things are changing, and I don't know if the people are feeling it yet, but I'm starting to sense a change for sure.
Have no fear. We are here. We will deal with these cultists.
All you have to do is keep an eye out for dudes in blood red cloaks. They're typically the ones that are up to suspicious activities. Usually they have a knife or something, and also sometimes they're naked and covered in blood, and they'll just come screaming into a place, speaking a bunch of gibberish. Although that might have been part of that Midsummer Festival in Loudwater. I'm not sure what happened. But, anywho, Blood Red Cloaks, look out.
He says, thank you for that. I will alert the guards and let them keep their eyes open for it.
They like to travel in groups of 5.
About that time, the servant comes back into the room, and he's got a small little satchel. Well, not that small, but a decent-sized satchel, I guess. It's got 2,000 gold pieces in it. He runs it over to Seymoure and hands it to him. And, excuse me, Lord Oakfeather says, there you are, friends. There's 2,000 gold pieces for you. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us. Now, if you don't mind, I do have other business to attend to. So, unless there's anything else I can help you with, I would bid you good day.
'Twas an honor to assist you, sir. Have a lovely day.
And you as well,
As
Seymour.
I finish pouring the coins into my mouth.
Gets a kick out of me every time. Not like an in-character Moth, it's just like, it's so neat.
Yeah, just keep looking in disgust.
So what now, gentlemen?
To the next town, I guess, right? Unless you guys want to do some shopping. Bill's favorite.
Yeah, hey, I'm not the one in charge of the shops anymore, so. Well, Moth doesn't have any money. I mean, I'll go look for some herbs and such.
I mean, you can if you like.
Jason, Sean.
What materials do we need, guys?
I
Yeah,
didn't
this is-
any.
What do we need to fight a cult?
The think this is a good decision.
We should, as a party, sit down and talk about what's happening.
We can let's go get lunch.
You want to go get lunch?
Yeah, it's about lunchtime, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's yeah. So afternoon snack, early dinner.
Yep, we can do that.
Okay. There is a place in town, like an actual.
Nice vignette with the view of the river.
Aside from your bar, of the couple of bars that they have in town, they've got like a restaurant that you can obviously drink at as well. But it's called What Ails You, and it is up to the north of town. That big, like practically square building with the tree behind it. But yeah, you guys can go there. You head inside. Excuse me. You're greeted by a young human, like a teen boy, and he says, "Hey, how's it going, guys? You gonna sit down and eat, or you here to go to the bar?"
Table for 4.
He says, "Wonderful. Follow me." He beckons you to come with him. He turns around and heads into the restaurant.
Follow him.
It's pretty vacant in here right now. It'll be probably a couple hours till the actual dinner rush. But he
Can I stealthily, while he's like leading us, transform into a horse?
Yes.
Sure.
Horse more!
Cool. Yeah, then I'm gonna do that just because I think it'll be hilarious if he turns around and there's a horse instead of a weird robot dude.
Okay. So
Weird robot dude, it's a weird robot horse.
he leads you to the table, over to a little table, and he holds his hand out and he says, "Here you go, guys." And he turns around and looks, and he goes, "Oh my, jeez, what, where did the horse come from? You got to get the horse out of here. No, the horse can't be in here. This is a restaurant. You got to get him out, guys. Get the horse out."
I transform back into myself and like, I'm just messing with you.
And he goes, "Oh man, oh my, oh." And he starts laughing, and he says, "Oh man, well that was a good one. Yeah, you really got me. Well, here's your table." He says, he lays down a couple of menus, and he says, "I'll be back in just a few minutes."
Thank you, sir.
And he runs off,
Perusing the menu.
and it's just a
knowing
basic,
that I do not eat.
just a basic menu, you know.
Come with us.
You can get like a moose burger. You can get a salad.
Yes, some deadly
and
moose.
yes.
Eat them all.
Moth grows his own food, so it's kind of up to the other party members that eat stuff.
So
that's
I
not-
guess it's just Jason or McKai and Yoin that are going to be eating.
Like, I see what it is, guys.
So you guys kind of peruse the menu for a minute, and he comes back and he brings each of you a mug of ale, and he says, he says, "We don't have everything open and up and running yet. We shut down most of the kitchen until dinner, but he said, he says, you want a burger?" He says, "We can get you. We got a salad." And he says, "We got some pretty nice turkey legs back there."
Turkey leg. You sold me.
He looks at he looks at Seymoure and he goes, "Do you eat?"
Nope.
And he looks at Moth and he says, "What about you?"
I hold out my hand and I just kind of start to slowly produce some edible mushrooms.
And he kind of
And
shivers.
I just say, "I'm good, thanks though."
He shivers a little bit and goes, "All right, okay." And then he points at Yoin. He says, "What about you?" You got us muted.
Jason.
No, this is Yoin.
Oh, yeah.
Sean.
John.
John!
John.
John!
John.
John!
John.
Okay, sorry guys.
There you
sorry,
go.
guys, that was Sarah. So guess who gets their kids tomorrow after 12?
Yay.
Yay! Sorry guys. Alright, what's going on? What's going on? I have
Okay.
to answer that.
What do you want to eat? Burger, turkey leg, or
Salad.
ham? Salad.
Salad. Salad.
Okay. So he turns and walks back to the kitchen.
Cool. Alright, so go with this. Let's see if we can fuck them up.
God of chaos, right?
Got a
Command
gas.
release.
Indeed. Phases of the moon.
Those are important.
Indeed.
Are they bad guys though?
Yes.
I mean, it's just kind of.
They're trying to unleash something that was chained up because it is a god of chaos. As much fun as some chaos, a little chaos can be, all chaos is not.
I mean, isn't that the like natural order of things though?
No.
Like, things shouldn't be in prison, right? Like, I'm sure there's another god of order out there that's just bored right now.
I think we do have something like that, don't we? From what I was saying last time.
Yeah, your god is like, hey, keep this thing locked up. But it's like, why?
Eh.
There's
All
balance, the yin
all
and
of
the
the
yang.
Blues Brothers were on a mission from God.
True. I don't know, maybe if we get to talk to it, it'll be like it'll be a douche. And I won't like it. But right now, I don't see any reason to like. I don't see a reason behind keeping things in cages or bound to some plane. Like they exist as a reason. There's a purpose. I'm assuming.
His emissary kind of fucked us up.
That was just a little nibble.
Yes, that almost took you down in one hit.
That was just a little nibble.
Mm-hmm. Whatever, Moth.
Like, yeah, I'm sure if we weren't there, like, we would have got to say, like, hey, I don't know who you are, but as far as I know, we're cool, just don't hurt my dude.
What say you, Yoin? John.
I'm thinking. You gotta give me a moment.
Sorry. Making sure you're not muted, sorry.
Oh, no. It's already fine.
What's McKai's take on this?
Yes, what is your take on it?
I would say there's the yin and yang. There has to be good and bad. There has to be balance.
Right now, it seems like the good.
Things are getting out of balance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So what shrine, other than that one shrine, where, do we know any other locations of the other shrines?
Yes.
We have a map that has watermarks in the back that show all the points where these rituals are supposed to be taking place.
Where's the center? What's the center shrine?
Do we know that?
From my understanding, balance has to be connected, and if one shrine is taken out, then the other shrines will fall, from my understanding.
Well,
There's the center.
I was gonna say they all seem to be placed not necessarily on the outskirts, but kind of right there towards the edge of the map. But there's not really a central shrine. It's more like the 4 points of a square, closer to that than anything.
Okay. There's only 4, right?
Yes.
There's supposed to be the little dots.
Yeah.
Fifth dot.
Well, there's
Yes,
like
like
there's like
six.
6 or 7 dots in particular. I didn't get to mark them before I sent you guys this image, but yeah, the one down on the bottom that's the intersection of those two roads, that dot is the one that you guys just dealt with. And then you have the one, what was it? The one in the top left by the little picture of the sea dragon.
Yep.
That one. And then there's the one off to the top right-ish corner next to Fort Marnac. And then it was the very bottom left corner, right above the compass. Yeah. So those are the four shrines that are marked on the map. Yes, there you
It's
go.
not really an epicenter.
No,
An exact one, at least.
I mean at least
Oh.
at least there's nothing marked on the map that would show that.
All the shrines are connected though, right?
You don't know.
They're all for the same imprisoned god, yes.
Yeah, because what I think it was you had a dream, and I also had a dream. Of like 4 chains binding the moon, and then how did that go down?
Well,
it was a wild dream.
The best way to, I personally think, the best way to handle the situation is to, if we know that all 4 are needed, then we need to at least take control of one and keep that one guarded, just in case things go wrong. Is there any, do we have any utility of taking at least one shrine for us to stop this upcoming threat?
I think we should go meet with, A something, whatever her name is, Emily, and, discuss with her, because it sounds like she is also opposed to these cultists and has some sort of plan.
Moth needs convincing.
Moth, I'll give you some good shrooms.
He's broken them already.
Moth, we can be best friends. Think about it.
Think of all the animals you get to see going on an adventure.
Moth, think of the animals.
I'm going to come with. No. I'm going to come with simply out of the fact that I would like to figure out more of why this god was in prison. Like, nature is chaos. Like, you look at a cute bunny, and you think it's playing with its friend running around the yard, but then you end up, you watch it for too long, and you're face to face, and, you know, the male bunny just exudes this energy of, I know this is wrong. And you just face fucks the shit out of the bunny. That's chaos, man.
That's too much structure, we don't need that.
I mean, that's how nature is, right?
Not really.
But, I mean, that is the natural progression of actual nature. Damn society's roles and perceptions of these gods out in the wild, anything happens. There's only one certainty out there, it's death. You will die. And then
Should we
it
try to
will be
contact-
consumed. And then it goes on.
Should we try to contact God about this? Maybe the God of Harmony, since this is about the God of Chaos?
I mean, I think we kind of already got that with Jason's decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't see
That
council.
might have been last game. I think you missed
That
that.
was last game, yeah, sorry. We gotta finish up
That's what I missed.
shit.
We're just having a debate about the ethics of keeping chaos caged.
Some
In
other,
the middle of this restaurant. You went into a trance. McKai went into a trance.
The waiter brings you guys this food, sets it down, and he goes, "Here you go, guys. If you need anything, let me know," and then just walks away.
I want your opinion. We got a 5-way vote.
Oh, and he stops and he goes,
I mean, it's not even a vote, really. It's just what's your opinion.
okay.
Like, should something that already existed be held captive because the way it exists is deemed inappropriate, or however you want to say it?
Well, what was the reason, first off, why it was,
We don't even know.
We don't
We
know.
don't even know.
I say we find out why first, before we make any judgments upon if we should
And I
free
feel
it or
like
if we should
Annalie
kill it.
would know the reason. I feel like she knows more about this than anybody we've met.
He just goes, "Whoa,
My answer
I don't know. You got me, man.
I asked for a gold coin.
I mean, just the nature of its own existence is reason for it to be held captive. That seems wrong.
My friend,
If it's
you
evil, it should.
hand me a coin? Good.
I hand you a coin, yes.
Let's let the gods decide. Heads, we do more research. Tails, we go with our own intuition. Are we all agree?
I don't understand why we would want to do that. I think we just go find Anna Lee and get some answers.
We can make it interesting.
That's true.
I hold up the coin and just show everyone by holding it with my 2 fingers, looking around. The gods will help us. Even if they don't talk to us directly, if they want us to do something, they will affect this coin.
Hey,
We're all in agreement?
I mean, you can flip that coin.
I must hear if everyone agrees or not.
that's not. I'd rather just go talk to Anna Lee.
Yeah, that was. I mean, we're just trying to figure out our plan, and I got all esoteric asking questions about what's going on.
Fuck.
I flip the coin.
It's tails.
Oh, crazy! That is actually what this gold coin flipped on that I had in my hands. Let's go find Anna Lee.
So, we eat a lovely meal. I'm assuming it's a lovely meal.
Yeah, it's not bad.
This weather is extremely crisp.
It's middle of the afternoon. The cooks aren't really trying very hard right now. I mean, it's still it.
They never do it in the middle of the day, though. It's the truth.
No, that's what.
Except Bill. He's the exception.
I mean, I guess I work in a sub shop. I'm at a restaurant, so I don't have like a dinner. I have a lunch.
Yeah. I mean,
What did this cost us?
this whole meal, 2 gold.
Cool.
It's coming at a Bill's check.
The buck. There's gonna be a pile of dirt and an old bone.
I think
Maybe a cool rock I found.
what I get for, or that's what the responsibility I took when I decided to be the literal bank.
Cha-ching.
Alright. I go back to eating my salad and being silent.
We eat a lovely meal, and now let's head towards Annalie.
All right.
Noruune, right? Or she's in
Yeah, Noruune.
okay. She's in Noruune, but she wants to go to
Sildegard. Okay. Alright, do you guys want to do anything before you head out of town? Other than go get your car or your horse?
I don't think we need anything else, right, guys?
Why did we go all the way to Noruune? Sildegard is somewhat closer.
Do we have enough healing stuff so now if one's down, we can just potion them?
Yes. We have lots of
Stack them up.
actions.
Oh, good.
Also, you're a cleric, so that's kind of your job.
Yeah, that's why I also ask. I can, toss you a potion here. If I don't have the magic stuff.
You should be good.
Alright.
Got some potions off this cultist who roasted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I guess I'm down to head to Noruune. I got my
agree. To Noruune.
Okay.
We did like a little montage of all of us holding hands, getting the horse.
Yo, can we skip?
Yeah.
Prance, skip and prance.
Skip.
So you head
Oh,
to
you guys did it.
you head to the stables and you fetch Alistair. The stable boy says, he says, well, he's all clean, he's brushed, he's fed, he seems to be feeling like he's in a pretty good mood. He says that'll be 3 gold.
I burp up 3 gold.
He goes, oh. And kind of looks at it and goes, well, it's not. He puts it in his pocket and then kind of wipes his hand off.
Yes.
Is the stuff you pull out of your mouth damp or moist in any way?
That's a good question.
I wouldn't think so. He's a robot. He doesn't have saliva.
I'm also just kind of flavoring it. It really, and actually, I actually have to go and like grab stuff out, stick my hand in my mouth and pull stuff out. I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh,
I
I
remember
remember.
you put the bag holding in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like, I was just hoping for a little bit of strange viscous liquid. That's just me. I can
That is
go
not
over
where
it.
I would go.
I'm a robot, so I don't have that.
No.
Wait,
Right.
out of the thing, your actual character is a robot?
Yeah.
He's Warforged, and it's essentially a robot.
Remember, I missed the first beginning part.
Mm.
So, would that mean if we put oil on you, it's like an oil bath, like for C-3PO and the R2-D2? Would that help you?
Probably not.
No.
That's a good question.
Although,
I think that's up to the DM.
yeah. Although, I mean, you guys encountered. You weren't here for it, Sean. But last encounter, they fought these creatures. I don't remember what they were called now. But
Big old dirt ticks.
yeah, they were like these giant fleas essentially, and but when they dealt damage, they caused metal to rust and corrode. And so I think if he had been affected by that, you could have potentially helped minimize the effects of the corrosion by oiling him up, perhaps.
I'll remember that.
But who knows? Anyway, so you hook up the horse, Alistair. He's looking nice and shiny. His coat's nice and clean, shiny, healthy looking. He
Yeah, man, aren't you looking spiffy?
he kind of bounces his head a couple of times in agreement. He's feeling pretty good. So you guys saddle up. It's a nice little ride. A nice little ride to make it all the way to Noruune, but you can make your way there. Let's see.
That is what we shall do.
All right. So, who's driving?
I think Yoin's our driver, right?
Yep, I'll be the driver. I'll do it. How many hours will it take us to get there?
Matter of days at this point.
42 hours in total, without any stops or without any interruptions.
I'll take the first 8-hour shift and then trade off with somebody so I can
And
rest. And
That's 42 hours of travel, not including your rest time.
okay.
So,
We'll just break it up over 3 days, 2.5 days.
okay. So we have the first little leg of the trip from Brightonburg to the intersection that you guys were at earlier.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Can we take a break real quick?
Give me
No more breaks.
You want to wait?
give me 10 minutes. Just wait till 6:30. So as you're traveling from Brightonburg, you make your way. Like I said, the main road is usually pretty safe, pretty clear. Along the way, though, you do pass a pretty buff-looking guy. He's just he looks like maybe he's even got some like half giant in him or something. He's a big guy. He's got a great axe that he's thrown over his shoulder. He's not wearing a shirt. He's just got his pants on. He's got a sack tied to his waist. But he just wandering down the road. As he passes you guys, he kind of nods and
I'm gonna cat call.
he says he turns as he's passing. He hears your hooping and hollering. He turns and he goes, "Thank you," and just keeps walking. Okay, so from here, let's see. You guys left town. So it's about this time. It's getting late at night. It's probably about 11 o'clock. It's if you guys want to bed down again or keep going, that's up to you.
Activate sleep mode.
What about everybody else? You guys tired? I can make a little shack if we need to, or
Yeah, do you want to? Let's head up. I like my corner in that shack. I've made that thing pretty comfy.
Okay. So you throw up your shack. Everything is fine for the night. You guys get a good long rest. Manage to enjoy a good peaceful night's rest, and you wake up healthy and refreshed and ready to go. Gather everything up, feed the horse, grab you something to eat maybe out of your sack, and you hit the road. One thing though, before you leave, I'm sorry. When you leave your hut, your shack for the day, you notice it seems like overnight almost, or essentially, tons and tons of flowers have just sprung up all around you guys. Just all over the place. So anyway, it doesn't seem ominous or anything to you guys. It's just something that you're like, oh, wow, lots of flowers around here all of a sudden. All right.
Butterflies love that.
That makes sense.
And all right, so you continue on.
Butterflies before?
You have not.
Huh. Yeah, no, wherever I go, butterflies follow. They're not always the same butterflies, but wherever I am, butterflies seem to gather.
Well, yeah. When you wake up, they are fluttering around in these flowers outside. There's probably twice as many as there normally would be. So you get up and you get out of the tent, and they just kind of all flock to you. So you have a larger amount of butterflies than normal today.
My friends.
I get it.
Okay. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, so I'll be nice just to check. McKai, is there any twilight kind of anything that you want to be able to do? I don't know if there's anything that is actually helpful at the moment, even, but.
can I fly up and see if we see anything?
I mean, yeah,
dangerous?
yeah, you can do that. So you'll fly up above the trees and get a good look around. Make me a perception check.
Alright. Tommy's favorite dice of mine, the pink one. Here we go. Hey, I got a nat 20.
Hell yeah. Directly north of you, you can see a large. It's quite a ways away, but there's the grass kind of turns into a bit of a barren land. You can't see much past that. There is like the shadow of some kind of mountain sticking up there, but excuse me, or some kind of mountainous object. It's not quite mountain shaped exactly, but anyway. So you can see that if you look just a little bit further west, you can see off in the distance the edges of a large lake and a tower, pretty small from where you're at still, but a tower off in the distance over at the edge of the lake. And you can see the main road that you'll be following north from here. And the road seems clear as far as you can tell along the way. It seems pretty peaceful out this morning.
Alright. I'm gonna get down and relay the info to the guys
Alright.
and ask them if we're just gonna continue the same path or is there something different?
You go along the road.
So, I
On the
mean,
road again.
I'm one of spiritualness. We can set 2 sticks on fire and see where the smoke points us if you'd like.
to you. What do you guys think will work?
The bar thing?
It's a mock thing.
I mean, if you want to, but I was just gonna keep going along the road.
You can do that. That's perfectly fine. I thought we'd add some flair to it.
Oh yeah, I mean, right now, if you're heading to Noruune, I mean, there is really just the one main road to follow.
I'm also just absolutely excited that happened. Pretty much in character. Like, well, I just wanted to fucking spice it up a little bit in the morning. My bad.
Only I can fly around, I guess, and make it nice and spicy.
Soon.
Alright, so you guys hop back in the cart and head on out, I assume?
Is it still twilight or no?
Yeah, it's still about, like I said, it's about 7 a.m.
Alright, and then I asked Moth, you wanna fly a little?
Absolutely. Kate gets all excited.
Alright, so you jump on McKai's shoulders and he takes off and does a little bit of flying around with you.
Absolutely. Arms, the angels.
Okay, so you guys can do that for probably a good 30-40 minutes, following above the cart as you guys start to travel. As the sun rises, you can feel your ability to fly start to wane. So you head back down and land back on in the cart. But
Alright, sounds good to me.
so yeah, you got to fly for a good 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, dude, stretch out them wings.
Yep.
Like, I don't want to use it because I know it's going to burn one of my wild shapes, but it would just be fun to be like penguin moth up there, like, yeah, fly this bird bullshit.
I mean, you get back for a rest.
That's true. Yeah, Flavor Town. Flavor Town. I'm gonna transform into a penguin before we go for a fly, and I'm gonna just the whole time be
Enjoy being a flying penguin.
whack. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
All right. All right. So back in the cart, everything is fine. Seems to be no issues. Are you guys just gonna travel like a normal speed? Or are you trying to rush this at all? Or are you just gonna casually continue to make your way to Noruune?
Rush a little bit.
Okay.
Rush a little bit.
Okay.
Like, I mean, it's 42 hours. I'm not sure if we could do that in like 2.5 days.
Okay. So it would.
Left at like half the day. I don't know.
So after about 6 hours of traveling, no issues or anything, you make it to another intersection with a signpost, an arrow pointing you to the west, leading you to Sourteen. Excuse me. As about an hour ago, as you started to approach, you could see the edges of the large lake off to the left of you guys, and then you can see the approaching the small town around the edge of the lake, the tall tower just off behind the city. If you wanted to stop here for any reason, you could. You don't have to. It's only about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You can continue on, but if you divert for any reason, it'll take you about an hour to get there, and then you'll have to get back on the road.
I think we gotta go find Annalie. I remember she was being said, or she said that she was gonna be not in the room for a very long time.
Okay.
The bolt there first.
Alright, so you guys just keep going, pushing a little harder than, a little faster than average, just to kind of gain an edge here if you can. Things are starting to get dark. Again, no issues on the main road. Things are still really peaceful. But as it starts to get dark, you guys figure you'll need to find a place to bed down, so you can start kind of looking along the sides of the road. But you will be you'll be approaching this intersection about 9 p.m. Right up here where it says the 200 Acre Wood. that intersection of the road. You can
Winnie the Pooh sequel.
exactly. There's essentially a small little rest stop area, a little clearing that's been set up. There's already like a burned, a put out campfire set up here where you can kind of make your own little makeshift campsite for the evening.
Are there any fruit-bearing trees?
In this area, not that you can see.
So we can get Alistair a snack for working so hard.
Nope, I got nothing. Tomorrow. Cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to bed.
Yeah, I'd go around. I'd be looking for some of the top quality grass to take Alistair to. And I think I would use to speak with animals. I'd just lead him around, and be like, "Hey man, I really appreciate you helping us out. I know this is a lot, especially a long ride out. We really appreciate you holding up."
He says, no, it's not a problem. He says, I'm not that old yet. I can handle this.
I but I just want to say we appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you as well. Thank you for saying it.
Mm-hmm. Anytime. Gonna give him all the good grass that I find. Some little flower pieces that pop off. Like, yeah, go ahead. Here you go.
He enjoys it.
Yeah.
Alright, so you're gonna set up your shack again for the night?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys want it?
The shack is very nice. It's a ritual cell.
It gets,
But I do, my wood style jutsu.
it's a little cloudy as you guys go to bed. You wake up in the morning, no issues through the night. As you step out of the shack, it is raining. It's not raining that hard as of right now. You can still see pretty fine, but it's going to be a wet trip today.
Are there more flowers?
No.
Okay. As we wake up, I give everyone a berry. And even I give one to Alistair, and the one I give to Alistair tastes like apples, and the one I give to each of you tastes like bacon.
Rose.
I put it in my mouth and I'm kind of like, yep.
As you all eat these berries, you feel like you have filled your dietary needs for the day.
Wonderful.
That's good berry.
How kind of you.
These are made in house.
Yes. Yeah, it's all fresh. It's vegan too. Don't worry about that.
Moth, if you have a request, I can make it taste like something else tomorrow if I do this again.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, is there anything else you guys would like to do before you continue? It's, you guys woke up, if you just go off the 8 hours for a long rest, you'd wake up at 5, but you can piddle around and have breakfast and stuff and hit the road. About, yeah, 6:37 if you want to get an early start.
I tell Moth, hey Moth, you want to take a look at this? How is it? Did you find anything new?
Do I want to go for a fly? Is what you're asking me.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering splendor.
I
Sure.
agree.
I was thinking about that.
So, since you've mentioned it, I didn't think about it, and kind of backed myself up against the wall a little bit with the penguin. But you technically you have to have seen these creatures before to transform into them.
Moth can read picture books, But yeah, we haven't seen anything in combat.
So, I mean, if you can tell me how you've seen an ostrich, then I'll definitely let you turn into one. But
Yeah,
But
I mean,
anyway, so yeah, the two of you can take a fly.
I made a list, Bill, of the animals that I had seen. That is limited.
You guys can go fly. You can both make me perception checks with advantage.
We're in Twilight today. I'll go with the darker dice. I got an 11. Wait, what else do I have on you? Anything for perception? That's 14.
Nice.
I got a 24.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Good thing I took you along with me.
See?
Oh, come on. Okay, so you guys go flying up and looking around. It's still pretty rainy, of course. But you can see there is if you look a little off.
Weather I like.
If you look a little off to the east, you can see there is this small forested area. Just above the, or just past the tree line, is some kind of small little fortress of some sort, some kind of small fortified building. But from this distance, it's hard to get a good look at it. Just to the north, or just northwest along the main road that you'll be traveling, you can see a large lake, probably a couple hours travel ahead of you. And that's about it. Oh, and I'm sorry, Moth. About, if you had to guess, probably about 1,000 yards or so off in the distance, across the main road, you see, even from up here, what looks to be a pretty sizable footprint making its way horizontally, like across the road.
Going east-west or going north-south?
Going north-south.
And it's heading north?
Yes.
That's a little concerning. Huh. Well.
What
I
exactly
was
was
saying
it?
to McKai, like, hey, that's a little concerning.
Sorry, what was the description? Sorry, I had to do something real quick.
So going north, about 1,000, 1,000 feet or 1,000 yards?
1,000 yards.
1,000 yards ahead of us. There was a gigantic footprint of some kind. Going across the road heading north.
To where we're going?
Sounds like.
It kind of cuts across the path with it. You guys are headed, but it seems to be heading. I mean, it crosses the road, but it seems to be heading further past that area. But it's just a single footprint in that direction, so it's hard to tell.
It's still horrifying.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm like,
I think we should tell our homies about this one.
that's what I'm thinking. I don't want to get caught with their pants down. That way we can keep having our little fights in the morning.
It'd be worse to even... Yeah, it's nice to come back with some actual evidence now. Like, having to, like, make this useful, you know? Oh, yeah. I'm assuming once we win. Hey, guys. Just let you know. Couple yards from here. By that, I mean, anywhere from 10 to 1,000. Probably closer to 1,000. There's a big ol' footprint visible from the skies. So, heading in the direction of somewhere. I'm not sure where. Definitely going in the northward vector.
So, I'm worried I may have made this sound a little bigger than it is. It takes up about half the width of the road. So the foot itself,
Okay, so
the foot itself is probably like I don't know, 8 feet in length, but it's still a rather sizable footprint across this road.
yeah, it's still a big foot.
Well, noted. Let's hope we don't run into whatever made that.
Hope not. But at least we have an idea of something that's out there.
All right, are you heading out? So you saddle up. McKai and Moth come back down, tell you guys about the massive footprint in the road up ahead. And you're like, okay. I mean, I guess we'll deal with that when the time comes if we have to. So you saddle up. You try moving at a steady pace again today. It's a little bit slower going because the roads are getting muddy. The rain is not letting up. It's not really getting harder or anything. It's just a good steady rain. After a good 30-45 minutes or so, well, I have no idea how long it takes for a cart to travel 3,000 yards, however long that takes.
Probably quite a while.
Yeah.
Like 5 hours.
I have no idea. Anyway, that's only, 1,500 feet? Am I doing that math wrong? I'm doing that math wrong. 3,000, 9,000 feet, so 2 miles. Almost. Anyway, so yeah, it takes you a little bit. You get to the footprint. I mean, nothing in the area seems suspicious or anything. The horse kind of steps his way through it. The cart bounces and thumps as you make your way over part of it. It's hard to get around in either direction. But there's no issues. So you keep going. Everything seems to be okay. It's a nice rainy day. But I am going to have you guys make me perception checks here.
No. Nice rainy days.
It is. Everything seems pretty alright, but there is a pretty loud crack, like a tree limb or something snapping off to the right that manages to...
unnatural 20.
Alright.
I have an unnatural 20.
I got a nat one. So it would be 4 total.
I got 11.
I'm in danger.
Alright, well
You
you...
are in danger. You're always in danger.
There seems to have been off 100 feet or so off the main road. The wind just seems to maybe have blown. Maybe it was a big animal. Something stepped on a tree branch and broke it. But there is a very large nest that has landed on the ground. Moth. That catches your attention. There are 3 eggs that have tumbled out of it. So, if that concerns you enough to actually act on, but that's
Does.
okay. So you get out of the cart and you run over and you get to the nest and you start picking up the eggs and straightening up the nest, putting them back in it.
Whole system.
As you're moving the eggs into the nest, you actually feel one of them kind of like poke the inside of the egg, like they pecked at it or something. They seems like these eggs are actually kind of close to hatching.
You're gonna be a father.
Then I would be gingerly putting him back into the nest.
Okay.
Knowing that birds don't have a sense of smell like that, they don't recognize that humans have a scent. Putting them back into the nest, try to be near the base of the tree that they fell out of.
Right.
So that whatever parent bird knows where they are, and at least that they're safe.
Okay.
If I could, I would try to get them off the ground a little.
Okay. There's a couple of branches that are low enough. With some assistance, you could probably get up there and put it on there without any real issue.
Ho! It's up the tree Moth goes.
Yeah, I think. Yep. One thing Moth for sure has seen a lot of is gigantic spiders. And that is one thing he would turn into. He'd try to use his, as he'd morph into something quite larger than himself. And he's used not his fang mandibles, but the other front legs and his mandibles to kind of secure this nest basket and move it up to a higher point in the tree.
Okay.
See how this goes.
That works. So I'm gonna have you make me an animal handling check.
Look at those.
All right. So yeah, you actually make it a pretty decent ways up the tree, and manage to find a nice little spot that you can stick this that seems even more secure than originally. And as you're looking at them, your knowledge of woodland creatures, you recognize these. They're larger than normal. Like I said, this is a pretty decent sized nest, but they look like raven eggs. So, but yeah, you get it repositioned. You set it up just fine. You said you're a giant spider?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see. It doesn't say anything specific. Okay. So yeah, you managed to re-secure it and maybe even
give some loving rubs. Try to give a little bit of.
you can even
Parents are away. I know you're cold out here.
you can even use some of your webbing to kind of help stick this stick this nest into place and secure it.
Try to get the nest secured. Get them like a little bundle underneath of webbing to like have a little insulated,
Exactly.
spot to sit. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, wonderful. You have successfully secured the nest.
And then I would scamper back down and climb on top of that cart.
All right. Well, just a wonderful little.
Just a wholesome moment.
Yeah. Anyhow, so you continue on. Things are. It's a normal day. It's getting late-ish. It's starting to be about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, and you are passing by this pretty large lake, just off the main road to the right. But there's a signpost with an arrow pointing down the road that you're headed already. That is labeled Whitehaven. It gives you kind of a timetable. In about 2 hours, you'll make it to Whitehaven. If you want to push forward there, you can probably find a place of lodging for the evening, and then finish your trip off tomorrow.
Just stay in the hut tonight, or we can go to town. Up to you guys.
Yeah, if you travel a little further tonight, because once you get to Whitehaven, it's about 10 hours to Noruune. So if you push past there tonight, you can save about, 3 hours, depending on how late you guys want to keep traveling. And then you'll get there a little earlier in the day tomorrow.
Road trip dad and me sneakling.
You don't have to deal with any pesky townsfolk issues either that may hold you back.
Yeah, screw that town. Bill, Jason,
Excuse me.
John, Moth, Yoin, McKai.
Spider Moth is up on top of the cart.
Oh.
Uh,
Well, about
kinda wanna look around, but we're on the time. So.
if that's an 8-hour spell, it'd be poofed right about now.
3-hour transformation. 2 hour.
And Moth would just be pretending to be a spider on top of the cart
All right.
with the cloak billowing.
There you go.
Just dramatic, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So are you guys gonna just push through for the a few more hours?
That's what it's looking like.
Okay. So
Yoin, what say you? John.
Yes.
there you go.
I'm thinking.
You gonna push through for the night, or bed down?
I'll go ahead and push through tonight.
Okay. It's
Right.
only a couple more hours travel, probably,
Yeah.
depending on how far you guys want to go. I mean, if you want to just keep going.
I think that's what everybody wants tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's
We
fine.
Just keep on going, and then if
Excuse me.
we can just pull off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh.
Like 3 hours or something. I'm not gonna go all night.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
We're not the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then you'll travel on. It gets dark. You start hearing the sounds of the night, faint through the rain. It is still raining. But everything's going all right. Alistair is getting tired though, and he starts moving at a slower pace. So you guys decide it's a good time to go ahead and stop for the evening. You can set up your shack if you want.
Spend some time after we park, finding some good fuel for Alistair.
Okay.
Premium.
Make me a perception check.
16.
Okay. As you're wandering around looking for some grass and anything else you can find to give to Alistair, you hear a couple of voices off in the woods behind you. You can't really tell what they're saying, but you hear somebody. You heard somebody say something and somebody respond.
Curious. You know,
I would.
Do we just hear this, or is there like something we can
Well,
see?
what are you guys doing? Yeah, as far as I know, this is just Moth. What are you guys? Because he was grabbing some food for the horse.
The horse just getting ready for bed.
So.
Sitting, figuring out who's going to do the watch.
Okay. Excuse me. So yeah, Moth, you're the only one out there, I guess. You're the only one that hears it.
I guess I wouldn't necessarily try to sneak my way there. I would just kind of keep paying attention, but be looking for that sweet grass
Okay.
for Alistair, but try to keep moving towards that general area, but like a little discreet, not sneaking,
Okay.
but just like mind my own business, looking for this grass, trying to pay attention to what they're saying, you know.
I understand. What's your passive perception?
18.
Okay. So, as you're digging around, just looking for this grass and stuff, you hear them speak again. This time it's a little more clear. You hear one of them going, "Wait, wait, 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 wait."
Okay. Do I see them?
Once you start looking around, like following the voice, you do notice you don't really see them. You do see what looks like maybe the top of a head, It's just a little tuft of hair and like a red, something bright red just under the hair, sticking up above like a fallen log.
Huh. Well, I can see it, so. Hello, friend.
You audibly you hear ah, and then you hear from a couple of different voices.
Oh, okay, well. Just. Now I'm curious.
Uh,
So I'm gonna keep talking to, if I can, keep talking to the previous, whoever answered the phone. No, there's nothing to worry about. How can I help you? What can I do for you?
Again, audibly, you hear somebody say, "There's somebody out there," and from behind the log, two two pretty burly-looking human men jump up, and they've got like leather armor and some different things, bangles and stuff hanging off of it. One of them has a broadsword in his hand, or I'm sorry, a scimitar. The other one's got a dagger. And they go, one of them goes, "Oh shit!" And a third guy pops up from behind, and he goes, "Oh god, there's somebody here." Oh god, they saw us, and he goes to jump over the log towards you.
I would, tufts of grass and flowers in both hands, just go hands up, just in their minds, they would just say, "Oh, whoop, hang on. No, I mean no harm, friends." Excuse me. As far as I know, I'm just collecting herbs. I have no idea what you're doing, nor who you are.
They two more, or the other two, kind of straighten up, and they get a little smirk on their face, and they feel a little more confident all of a sudden. So, and they begin to step over the log, and they start to approach you with their weapons out, and they say, "Well, then come here, little man.
I will cast
Let's see what you got on you." All right.
Is
So,
there any chance that I hear this with my passive perception?
what is your passive?
21.
You probably heard him freak out a little bit when Moth first said something into his head, because he yelled pretty loud, like it scared the shit out of him.
Well, as he responds with, "Oh, then come here," like that, I see that change in confidence, and I will immediately cast spike growth centered on them, but I will be at the edge of it,
It's a
looking in.
20-foot radius.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. At which point, all of them will just be like, "Oh shit! Oh, whoa!" And it's as soon as they move, they take damage. Correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So they're all just kind of frozen. They're like, what do we do?" And one of them goes, "Well, fuck this!" And he goes to charge at you, and he steps one foot down on the spiky mushrooms, and you hear him yell out, but he takes his scimitar and he just swings right at you. So he's gonna take some damage.
Alright, how far did he travel?
10 feet, sorry.
Okay.
So it's 44.
Yep.
Yeah, 64, because you gotta count the space he started in as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 16 points of damage.
Nice.
And I go and have the other two be like, "Hey guys, I think Moth's in trouble."
Yeah, so you heard this,
Ooh,
and so you
wait,
can start
and then-
going to rally the guys.
So that would be my action, right?
Basically.
My bonus action, I would like to Mothify and turn on the dust.
Okay, cool.
Activate the reverse super.
It,
He also gets 2d6 necrotic damage.
nice.
That's only if he starts his turn within.
He moved within
area.
10 feet of me as a reaction.
Ah, okay.
That's another 10 points of necrotic damage.
Hell yeah. He freaks out as these spores latch onto him and start like eating away. You see him screaming and get him off me!
Like, I'm just picturing this as he's like stepping on the spikes and taking that damage, sword just comes up
Yes,
and like
essentially.
starts immediately entering the wound that was just created.
So,
So good.
Seymoure is gonna rally you guys. Are both of you gonna take action as well? Spring into action, essentially.
What is he? What exactly is he fighting? Just these?
Well,
just these
I mean,
people?
you don't know.
We don't know.
Seymour heard a pretty audible yell come from outside, and so he came to get you guys about it. Do you want to go check it out or no?
Go check it out. I'm gonna stay with the wagon. I can't leave my little
Okay, so
Moth.
in which case, McKai and Seymour, as well as Moth, roll me initiatives.
Oh wait, this is the one we need another one. Screw you guys.
That's a 6 from me.
11.
11.
All right.
McKai can go first.
You want me to die, don't you?
Oh, I was gonna give it to you since you've got the higher dex mod, but if you want to let him go first, that's fine.
Oh, do I have higher dex?
Yeah.
Then I'll go first, yeah.
Okay.
Let's play by the rules.
All right. So this first guy, he's right up on you this time. He doesn't have to move or anything. He swings his scimitar at you one more time, but this time, since he's being attacked by all these things and freaking out, it doesn't really matter. His wild flailing misses you. The other two are visibly freaked out and are turning to run away. They turn and they'll have to run, I guess, 10 feet to get out of the spikes themselves.
Yeah.
So, I guess roll the damage for both of them.
Could I talk to them?
I mean, well,
Telepathically, before they, like, if I see, like, he's flailing at me, I'm not too concerned about him. But, like, I see them trying to do this, and it's like, just stop. Explain yourselves. I meant no harm.
make me a persuasion roll.
That's not good. Ooh, the dice are nice to me. I rolled a 19, so that's an 18.
Okay. Well, one of them freezes in his tracks. The other one goes, "Screw this," and turns and just starts running.
Can I fly towards the other one?
Well, hang on.
Oh.
So roll me damage for one of them, I guess.
That is 12.
Okay. Alright, so we got one frozen in his tracks, one that just attacked you, and this guy's running away, but he only gets about, well, he'll run a total of 30 feet away. At which point, Seymour and McKai, you both come bursting out of the shack, running towards the source of the noise. Even at full speed, you'll have to just basically take this turn making it to being in that area.
How far away are they?
He's about 150 feet away from you guys,
Oh,
dealing with this.
I
but,
want to wild shape into a rhino.
Okay.
Rhinoceros. Actually, no, I'll go riding horse. Riding horse is more movement, so that I can move in a dash 120 feet. So I'm at least within sight of Moth. He knows I'm coming.
I gotcha. let me see here. Okay, so we got this guy, and then 30 feet, and then so he is there, and he's there, which puts Moth here, which means you guys. That's about right. Okay, so you'll move to here. Boom, boom. All right. So we'll just, I'll be nice. We'll call this. You're going to be standing about 20 feet behind Moth at the start of your next turn. Just FYI. I know that's probably. I know that's probably further than either one of you can travel on your turn, but that's okay. You had a little bit of time before the actual initiative to get out there and catch up. Anyway, Moth, it'll be your turn. You have the guy that attacked you right in front of you. One dude frozen in fear about 15 feet away from you, and the other guy's about 45 feet away, or I'm sorry, 45 feet away, running the other direction.
Alright, not too concerned about the guy taking off. The guy in front of me will take 2d6 necrotic damage. That's 9 points of necrotic damage.
Ooh. You can see these spores have started to eat off pretty large chunks of his flesh. He's got blood streaming down his arms and legs, and they've made it through his leather armor and are starting to eat through his chest slowly.
So is he, if I had the impression, is he going to try to hit me again?
He is just freaking out. Like, I mean, if he swings at you, it'll almost be inadvertently, because he's just flailing, trying to get these things off of him.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm going to continue talking to... I'll use my bonus action, though. I'll cast Shillelagh as my bonus action, just to have that ready.
Okay.
In case I gotta do a flapping. And then I would continue talking to the guy. I've got interested in the center of this. And say, I meant no harm when I said, I put my hands up. And I said, hello, friend. What is happening?
You get no response for a long time, and then he says, we just wanted your stuff. You seemed like a pretty easy mark.
Moth will use the cloak of billowing behind him to be as dramatic and as imposing, combined with his spurs, trying to get those like dusty drips off of this cloak of billowing. And he's going to just, kind of tilt his hat so the sun's covering his eyes, and just enough blue coming out to just look at him and say, "We have no stuff. We or die."
With the rain, with the rain coming down and the billowing cloak and this cloud of spores in front of you, you got your hands up in a threatening manner, and
Still imbibing that I was Spider Moth earlier. I still got that feeling aggro, dude.
So make me an intimidation check with advantage.
Sweet. That's 13.
And he says, yeah, I'll leave. I won't ever mess with you again, man.
I would dispel spike growth. Still keep my dusty form up with the cape being all, but
right.
I would let him flee without taking damage.
All right. At the start of their turn, the one dude, he's off. He dashes and runs off another 60 feet. Then that guy turns and he runs the other direction as well. And you have this guy standing in front of you, just flailing madly. But he's not really capable of doing too much. He's pretty hurt. These spores are terrifying him, but you see him like focus for a second and try and concentrate, and he just lets out this loud howl, and just it focuses for one clear moment and swings his scimitar at you as best he can, which will help balance that out this turn, which means that's a 19 to hit
That hits.
for I don't have. There it is. Ooh, for 13 points of slashing damage.
Ow.
So you've got your arms held up menacingly as you scare this other guy off, and as he turns to run away before you drop your arms, he slashes you across your left arm.
As I bring my arms down, I would like to use my reaction to slowly eat him some more, and then also say, a lesson not learned, and I will bring my quarterstaff down on his head.
Okay. Because of his reckless mode or whatever at the moment, this will be at disadvantage, right? Let me see. No, I'm sorry, it will be at advantage.
So I have advantage, or he has?
Yes, you will have advantage because he is attacking recklessly.
Cool. That is a 25 to hit.
Yes, that'll hit.
Alright, he takes... Oh, I need... Hang on, might be... One of these. It's 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And a zesty 3 points of necrotic damage.
All right. Okay. At which point, Seymoure, McKai, you are both here. You've managed to see Moth scare this other guy off, retract his spike growth, and see this guy just being mauled by his spores in front of him. And
I didn't do the necrotic damage, my bad.
oh yeah, for that. Yeah, you didn't tell me that.
That's another 10 necrotic damage.
Okay. This guy is he honestly, it looks like Moth's got this handled. This guy is almost being chewed down to the bone at this point. There are several large patches that you can literally see the bone sticking out. He's got they've made their way up around his neck and are starting to like eat parts of his scalp away. He's got a big chunk of his beard missing. But it is Seymour's turn. You're
Cool.
standing there as a horse.
I approach this guy, transform out of horse, and then I'm going to punch him while casting Cure Wounds. And say, the man said, leave with your life.
Okay, so make me an attack roll.
Good at this.
Just a melee attack roll.
It's a 15.
15 is gonna hit, so you punch him right in his mangled face. That should just be a D4 worth of damage, right?
It's a static 2.
Okay, so
but
2
with
points
the
of
Cure
damage.
Wounds,
I was
heal
gonna
him
say, and then
4.
all right, wonderful. So as your hand connects with his face,
Oh, wait, hold on. I want to see if I get a nat 20, because I have advantage on it. Is the attack recklessly? Yes.
And he's occupied.
I'm not fighting, but if he's a barbarian and he attacked recklessly, I get advantage as well.
Oh, yeah.
yes.
I did not get him a nat 20.
Okay. So as your fist connects with his face, you see some of the flesh actually kind of regrow around where your hand connected. And it actually heals him just a slight bit in that spot. At which point he bubbles out a little bit of like an okay, Is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
No, just intimidation heal.
Okay, McKai? It's on to you.
If you told him to leave, I'm just gonna, yeah, if I read, I'd leave now. There's
Okay.
more people.
Moth?
Arm sold, please get tree.
Moth?
Yeah, is there
Oh,
anything?
no, he failed his lesson.
Failed as us.
Okay.
The other
Did
two
you learn
learned
fast enough?
He failed his.
So you got necrotic damage coming to him, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Necrotic. That's 5 points necrotic.
Okay.
And then I'm going to give him another whap.
Alright. So these spores have devoured most of his flesh at this point, and he is barely hanging on. And you take your shillelagh, and you don't even have to roll for anything. You just smack him right upside the head, and he essentially crumbles almost skeleton-like to the ground.
Perfect. I would like to bring him back.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I will use third level animate dead.
Okay.
You can just do it as a reaction.
No, it's a difference. Fungal infestation, they only come back as like very basic. Animate dead it's a whole different spell.
Okay, yeah.
So I would like to use animate dead instead.
Oh, that is wonderful.
And also, if I could, I would like to use another spell, gentle repose, and keep him from rotting.
It's already pretty well rot.
Well, not
Yeah,
yet.
so
He's a pretty fresh corpse.
You know, I'm gonna walk back into camp. Friend in tow. Mostly skeleton. And, let me find my spell card real quick. But yeah, so we've got a new friend. I got a name and everything. Moth is excited.
Okay,
He
so
loves it when he tries to teach lessons and nothing is learned.
you've got him fresh for 10 days, from what I can tell.
Search for 10 days.
And then I think I gotta do it again. I gotta cast it. Yeah, I can keep casting.
Every 24 hours. Yeah.
The spell also effectively extends the time limit of raising the target from the dead, since days spent under the influence of the spell doesn't count against the time limits of the spell, such as raise dead. So I think as long as you have gentle repose on it, you don't have to keep casting animate dead on it.
Oh, nice. Then
Yeah.
I would definitely keep gentle repose, and then whenever I have to.
And then after that spell wears off, then you've got 8 hours left on your animate dead,
Then I can
or
just
however long it lasts, and then an
So-
additional 24 hours. So yeah, you've got him for 11 days basically until you need to do anything else with him,
Awesome. Then yeah, I will.
and he ain't gonna rot.
Let me know in 11 days, and I will do it again.
Okay. So yeah, you guys have an additional party member. He is a human. He's got some pretty dark brown skin, a now partially eaten beard. Most of the skin is gone. There's a lot of skeletal parts. He's still pretty fresh, so there are things that are going to kind of fall out of him here and there for the next little bit, probably. But he's not going to rot anymore. Yeah, you have a nice little bandit friend now.
I give him a longsword.
Oh, he still has his scimitar.
I know, but a longsword does more damage.
Okay.
I think.
Now let me see.
Scimitars are 1d6, longswords are 1d8, or
Target
1d10
becomes-
if you use with 2 hands.
So are you making this a zombie or a skeleton, or does because it is nearly skeletal at this point, but I would let you consider it a zombie if you wanted. The only difference is which stat block I use for it.
Well, because it was mostly, the way I'm reading the spell now is that, if it was mostly bones, it becomes a skeleton. and there was like an actual fresher corpse, it would have become a zombie.
Well, like I said, it's still got a lot of flesh, or a fair amount of fleshy parts on it, but it's quite skeletal. So I'll let you decide which one you'd rather use.
All right, you can get back to me. I'll do some research here quick and suss out which one.
Okay. That works. Okay. Well, with that taken care of, you guys can head back to your camp and finally bed down for the night. Doesn't seem to be any other issues, so good on you for that. Everyone is well rested, and you can make your way the next morning. The rain has finally stopped. It is going to be a nice sunny day. It seems like the sun is slowly coming up.
So is this zombie basically rotting as the day goes on? Like, is it still rotting and it's just animated, or does it actually stop its rotting?
Well,
it actually stops rotting.
Yeah, that's what gentle repose keeps it from rotting for 10 days. So,
Can it talk?
not as a zombie. It doesn't have the capability to speak.
Us, it cannot speak.
Yeah. So you might get lucky and get some grunts or nods here and there, but that'll be about it.
I'm gonna go with a. Hang on. Nope. Sorry. Hang on. Doing more research.
You should throw your voice moth to make it talk. Really mess with it.
I can't roll my voice. I can't. I can't do that.
Your voice.
I can roll my R's, but not my voice. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the skeleton.
Okay. Skeleton it is. Alright, so you guys will saddle everything up, get everything put together, and head out. Like I said, it's a nice bright morning, sun's coming up, it's looks like it's going to be a clear day. You do notice, and you kind of noticed last night, it was just you didn't really pay attention, everybody was tired and ready for bed, but being out in the rain all day yesterday, Moth smells a little better today. It's not, his scent is still there, but that's true. That's very true. You may have had some things sprout on you overnight.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say there's a couple coming out of my shoulders.
There's a couple of literal sprouts coming out of you.
Yeah. Like this is my rain.
I get you.
This is Moth's territory. It feels good.
Wonderful.
I don't know if he would honestly go in the tent. He might prefer to sleep outside on a night like tonight.
Maybe so.
We have a room for you, just for you on the tent.
It's just a raining,
skylight.
So, travel seems to be pretty simple today. It's a nice clear day, nice clear road. Anybody trying to ambush or anything is probably not going to want to do that kind of stuff today. It's too clear.
2 nights a day for an ambush.
Yeah, the roads are, or the area around the roads is nice big open fields off to the left. You got some trees here and there on the right, but everything's nice and open in this area. It's not too hilly or mountainous in any kind of way. As you make your way along the coast, up the road, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you finally make it up to the city of Noruune, and make your way into town. Right outside the city is a set of stables if you want to drop your stuff off there. As you approach in the cart, an older, a kind of a gruff-looking older dwarf steps out from behind the stable area and kind of walks out to greet you in case you want to drop off your horse.
Oh, Alistair, yeah, he definitely needs a lot. He's been traveling a lot. He needs, again, spa day. This is what, 42 hours of traveling.
Yeah.
Oof. His legs gotta be like, if there's a massage option, I'd point to Seymoure and be like, he'll pay for it. But like, we gotta take care of Alistair. He's our buddy, alright? He's the one who gets us places. And you gotta worry about Macadamia. He's my skeleton friend. He's a cool dude. We've known each other a long time. He's right there. He shuffles behind me. It's okay. And then he billowing. I would turn and walk away.
He takes out Alistair's reins and he says, "Yeah, of course you'll have to pay for it, but we'll take care of him. Don't you worry."
Seymour's just like, "Oh, clean Alistair." I cast Tidal Wave. JK. Just
We're gonna be like, damn.
that would kill Alistair.
Yeah.
That'd kill probably the guy in the... That'd be a bad way to enter this town, my friend.
Hell yeah, it
It'd
would.
be very bad way.
Noruune is an interesting town as you make it into through the kind of gates into town. It's not a fully gated community kind of thing. It's not walled in any way, but they do have a pretty wide set of gates set up for the main entrance into town. As you pass through it, everything is bright. It's clean. You would almost, I guess the word would be modern. Almost everything just looks a little bit more different. It's like polished stone buildings and more angular.
Was that Franklin right about all those houses?
Yeah. He was.
Yeah, like kind of that modern.
I mean, everything is still, the houses. Like I said, they're. I'm trying to think. Picture. Maybe like like Greek houses. How everything is. I don't know, just bright and sleek looking and colorful, and it's a very pleasant atmosphere inside this town. Everybody's walking around. They seem happy. They're just doing their thing. You hear all the typical noises within the city. But as you walk in, there's a big signpost, and it's got all kinds of different arrows pointing off in different directions to different places in town. And if you're... there's two different inns listed. There's a couple of pubs, and all kinds of different things depending on what you're looking for.
We don't need an inn. I am the inn.
Don't need no stinking inn.
So right now, let me just make sure we have everybody and a zombie.
Skeleton.
Skeleton.
Yeah, it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You made it into the city, and so now what?
So how? Just want to end it here, Josh.
I mean, we can. If you guys want to just like go find the inn and buy rent some rooms, or if you just want to stop literally right here, it doesn't matter.
I think McKai said it best. We don't need an inn.
Okay,
He is the inn.
that's perfectly fine with me.
Time left in the day to handle the next session.
Yes, that's fine. So you have made it to the city of Noruune. You have stabled up your horse and cart, gotten everything that you need out of it.
Hey, I didn't kill anybody. I need a friend.
And yeah, you have a new skeleton friend.
I taught him a lesson, and he learned it the hard way. There's my friend. See, I entered this conversation with "Hello, friend." Look what I left the conversation with. Friend.
Exactly.
Fair enough.